have sacrificed more in this fight than you can ever imagine. My father knew he would die if he engaged the vast school dragons, and still he gave his life willingly so that your corrupt kind could lock the Rytek away. Vagar killed 5 of the 6 vast school dragons before he fell. We have lived in exile for thousands of years, and the Fae have almost lost the ability to have children, because they have been forced to live off Faes from their home dimension. Do not dare speak to me about sacrifice or loss. You will do as I ask, or you will join your father in my dungeon. Kale's anger jumped to life at the challenge, and he struggled to keep it in control. For the first time since he returned, he did not want to control it. He was tired of being used as a pawn in a war so old, no alive even knew it had ever existed. A voice rolled through his mind as he grabbed for his magic. Even you cannot win a fight against a white dragon, even one as weak as she is. Secede, or die here, Kale. I thought you'd be drooling over a dragon's soul, he snapped inside his head. By proxy. You'd have to be alive for me to use it, idiot. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of being a goddamn pawn, he growled back. He knew Akai was right, but he could not stop himself from attacking. The long scythe appeared in his hand, and he immediately peeled the shorter scythe from the handle before he leapt at the queen and swung. Every bit as fast as he was, she slid from her throne, raised her arms and barked her spell before he reached her. A green shield bloomed from her hands, and his blades slammed into it and stuck. Kale leaned on his blades, and the queen pushed on her shield, but neither gained any ground. Holy shit, you are as strong as she is. Foolish shit, Shalarix hissed. You would have been dead long before your vines matured, if not for me. How dare you attack? Liar, he snarled. Power surged through him, and still he reached for more. Black flames sparked to life along his arms, and he pushed his blades further into the shield. Dragons cannot lie, little fool, but we can lose our tempers. A blast of energy knocked Kale back as the queen roared. He stood, panting, and looked up into the face of a massive white dragon. I saved your life in the bottom of the Black Hawk over a year ago when a Zakir gutted you like a spring pig, she roared again. I convinced the death god to heal you. In exchange, I freed him of a favor he owed from over a millennia ago. The dragon stomped, and the whole throne room shook under her rage. It was a priceless sacrifice with no equal. Dathak does not grant a favor. I take it back. In this form she is stronger, Akai quipped, but she is beautiful. The spirit and the dragon's words took the fight from his fury as he remembered his first of many horrific nights in Talona. The foreign entity in his body, the sparkling black magic, the healing, all of it finally made so much more sense on how he had survived. Akai was right. She was amazingly beautiful. Tell me the truth, he panted. Can one goddamn person in this fucking world tell me the truth? With his anger spent because of the amazing sight in front of him, he released his weapons. I am, the dragon growled. It saved your life, but I... He could feel her regret radiate through her aura, and as if her own words had deflated her anger, the dragon calmed. As she shifted back to human form, he stared in awe. You paid a terrible price, she said. The god's magic left you defenseless for when you encountered Sivanax. I'm sorry for what you suffered. It was not my intention. Kale shook his head. I can sense your regret, guilt even, but understand that I have been pulled by strings since the moment I got here. I am tired of it. In a way you have. Unfortunately, it is the way of this world. We are not merely fighting for our lives, but for the existence of our races, she told him. Her determination washed over his senses. And you are the only weapon we have. I wish to be your ally, Kale, not another enemy. Finally, he took a deep breath and sighed. Very well, he said. What exactly do you want from me? The queen cocked her head and smiled. Simple, Kale. Take my daughter and these eggs to a dimension where time moves faster. 5 times faster than it did in the afterlife. Take however long is required to make sure she will be safe while there, and then return. After all, you could spend a year there and only be gone from here for just over 2 days. Do so and Gideon is yours." "I knew it," he spat and shook his head in disbelief. "Cracking dimensional barriers isn't something I've had a lot of experience with. None, in fact. What you're asking, free the Northman cassock and make